Good evening. Tonight we're headed out to a media event for Orlando Forum of Fear. Now, this is a haunted attraction, so just some forewarning here, there's going to be some scary stuff coming up and possibly strobe lights, so if those are things that you don't want to see or those are things that affect you, might want to turn the video off right now. So the haunted attraction that we're going to tonight is being put on by former Halloween Horror Nights creative minds Patrick Braillard and Kim Grommel. And the maze that we're going through tonight is called Tunnel of the Damned. So it's actually really an interesting concept because they tell me that the maze is going to transform over the run of the event. So it starts out as Tunnel of the Damned, which is the maze that we're going to see tonight, and then it transforms into City Overtaken, and then it finally concludes in Apocalypse. It sounds really interesting that they have kind of like an evolving event, and you could go multiple times throughout the season and get different experiences each time that you go. Then they also have something that's called the Seance Dinner Show. We're going to be able to see the set and the environment that the Seance Dinner Show will take place in. We don't get to actually take part in the Seance Dinner Show tonight, but I think we might be back a different day to actually see it. I'm just excited all around. We do get to talk to Patrick and Kim while we're there, so hopefully they can answer some questions about the dinner show for us and maybe about the maze for us. Oh, I was just reading through the press release and I wanted to read some really interesting things to you guys about the event. So the first thing that I wanted to mention is that tickets are starting at $17.50 for an all-night pass, and I'm assuming that that means that you'll be able to go through the event or through the maze multiple times for just $17.50. We will ask them this when we're there just to make sure. So for the Seance Dinner Show, they're gonna have beef, chicken, salmon, or a vegetarian dish for the meal plans, or a surf and turf upgrade option. And those tickets are starting at $87.50, so a little bit more pricey, but you get dinner and a show, so I think it might be worth it. So the haunt actually has a recommended age of 13 and up. However, some nights from 5 to 7, they're gonna have what are called kids nights, where they turn down the effects and the scariness of the maze for kids 7 to 12. So if you have some adventurous kids, that might be an option for you. So because the maze does transform over the run of the event, they are offering season tickets. So they didn't give a price of this, but I'm kind of interested to find out a little bit more about that tonight because it would be interesting to see how the maze changes throughout the season. The official name of the dinner show is the Dark Seance, and reservations are required because they have spread the tables out to accommodate for social distancing. Just to kind of give you guys an idea of where we are at, we are on International Drive right now, next to the Endless Summer Resort. We're about a half a mile away from the venue. So the venue is on International Drive and we will be there shortly. So here's where we're at. This is the Orlando Forum. Like I said, it's on International Drive. It is a little bit hard to figure out where to go as far as parking goes, but there is kind of this driveway here. There's a driveway on either side. You can pull around the backside if you miss it, but either driveway will get you to the back of the building, which is where the parking lot is, all the way back behind it. And then we are going in right now to Tunnel of the Damned and the Dark Seance.
Okay, listen up. First and foremost, you need to know that the military is now in charge of this operation. Is that understood? Alright, point of order. Anytime I ask you a question, you will respond with, "Sir, yes, sir." Is that understood?
Sir, yes, sir.
Is that understood?
Sir, yes, sir.
Oh, good. You can be taught. Now I'm going to try to break this down as simply as possible so that even those of you with limited intelligence, and that looks like the majority of you, I have to admit, will be able to understand each and every instruction that I give you. Do not stray away from your party. Do not stray towards another party that may look friendly and inviting, because trust me on this, they are not. This is an every man for himself situation, and any other party that may be luring you towards them is only luring you to your demise. Trust me on that one. It's an effort to thin the herd. In just a few moments, I'm going to escort my first group of volunteers into this next room. I want you to do everything that you were told with no questions or back talk. Are we clear?
Sir, yes, sir.
Excellent. The 8 of you follow me right now. You're going to step on 2 of these red X's as far away from each other as possible. Face the monitor. You've got to communicate from my lieutenant. He's a very soft-spoken man, so you might have to really strain to hear what he's saying. Lieutenant, are you there? Come in, Lieutenant.
Thank you, Sergeant.
As many of you are well aware, the island formerly known as New York City went dark 6 months ago. The Army performed a successful air raid, but it ravaged much of what was once known as the city. Since that time, the powers that be have set up a military perimeter around the whole kit and caboodle, and they have been keeping watch. Be that as it may, what they won't tell you on the evening news is that 2 weeks ago, a portal opened up underneath one of the westbound lanes of the Lincoln Tunnel. As such, we have dispatched numerous scientific teams into that godforsaken vacuum. The powers that be will not let me rest until we crack that city open and drag it back from the brink of hell. I do not know what you will find inside, but whatever it is, it's unnatural. You will enter the expanse and you will not stop until you find your way out, thus providing us with useful information on how to navigate.
All right, you've been instructed to move forward through that doorway. Let's do it now. Let's go, 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 go. Hustle, hustle, hustle. Time is money, folks. Do it.
Let's go! Move in! Let's go! Move it! Let's go! What are you guys doing now? Go! Get out of here! It's not safe!
So there you go, we went through the haunted maze section of this attraction. It was great. So they said they're about at maybe like 70-80% done. There's still new scares, new theming, and new effects that they still have to put in place. So I can imagine this is going to be completely different in about a week or so when they have all of those effects and things installed. It felt good. I like that I could go through kind of by myself. Because it's a media night, they kind of had us in a group and we were still socially distant from the people around us, but there were like other media outlets in there with me. But if I came here on a normal day, it would just be like, if I was by myself, it would just be me going through by myself. And that's fantastic. It makes it so much scarier, so much easier to get scares, and so much easier to take it all in. I think this place is going to be fantastic, and I'm excited to see it change throughout the run of the event. There's going to be 3 different iterations, and they're going to change it up. You might go a different way. You might have a different set piece. There might be different actors. There might be different masks. It's going to be really interesting to see everything change as the event progresses. So now that we've gone through the scare, and you can see that we ended up at a bar, which is a fantastic idea, because as soon as you're done, you can get a drink, hang out outside, and just kind of like take it in. And if you bought a ticket, you can go through as many times as you want. So you can just go back in after you finish your drink and go through another time and another time and another time if you wanted to. So it's all very, very intriguing to me to see how they're doing this and how they're pulling it off and how it's safe. Like, all the actors are wearing masks, can't touch anything. All the actors are having their temperature taken. They're all 6 feet away. So let's go into the seance room and hear from Patrick Braillard and Kim Grommel.
The micro inspiration then becomes, it's just fun to create monster stories. I think we were talking about locations and talking about where that...
What could it be? At one point we said, are there clowns involved? No, there's no clowns involved. And then we wound up somewhere, I guess you said it was me, you said maybe a tunnel.
When you look at a tunnel just as a thematic, you're like, okay, it's confined, it's small, it's dark, but also there are 2 ends to each side of the tunnel. It has to go somewhere, it has to come from somewhere. I love the old quote, the only way out is through. And so that became an impetus for us, and that kind of drove the storyline. And trying to figure out...
And then it went into, well, where's the tunnel going? Well, it's going into Manhattan.
Yep.
What happened in Manhattan? Bad things.
Bad things happen. Bad things happen. Bad things continue to happen in our story.
Yeah.
And for the first act, as well as the second phase, and then the third phase of the story and the haunt, as it evolves over the course of the month, you're going to learn more about that. And I think that that's also a unique thing that is really fun and inspires us to push, because it gives the guests a chance to come back and experience it in a different way.
Yeah.
And some of them are subtle changes, and some of them are not so subtle changes.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be fun for people to experience it.
And we've never done anything like that, where in the middle of a run, it's going to change. It's going to change with some of the actors, the costuming, some of the set, some of the look.
Pre-show will alter slightly, the set will alter slightly, the costumes, makeup.
Because of several things, COVID, the way we have to do this with social distancing, this is a dream come true, because we're pulsing. You know, you go through with your group. If your group is 2 people, you're 2 people. If it's 6 people, it's 6 people going through. You stand on the red X. The lieutenant tells you to go. You go inside. The other guy, the sergeant in there, tells you to stand. Then you're gone. You're heading in with just your little group, and there's nobody behind you. There's nobody in front of you, and that's amazing. That's wonderful. They're going to be such great scares.
So now that we're done with that, I wanted to talk to you all about the dark seance that will be happening here at the Orlando Forum of Fear.
So the dark seance, a haunted dinner experience, is an immersive experience for all of the senses. You'll come to the bar and you'll be shown back to the seance room, where you're going to meet our medium. And our medium is going to take you through the evening, and she's going to tell you a historical story about one of the most vile people from world history. We're going to try and contact that person. Things may go a little awry. We don't know who might show up. It's kind of going to be a surprise, but we will tell you for sure there are a couple of things. You will eat some fabulous food. And then once the meal is finished, the medium will take you through the seance. And you never know who will show up. You never know what's going to happen to the room. Things that you thought were one thing, they might turn out to be another thing. So you're in for a really cool, immersive experience, unlike anything you've experienced before.
So we're all done, and they provided us with a little sample of what the chef can do. This is a pulled pork sandwich from Gettin' Messy Barbecue. The food that they're going to have here may not necessarily be barbecue, but it is made by the same chef. So there you have it. That was our trip out to the Orlando Forum of Fear to experience Tunnel of the Damned. It was fantastic. I really enjoyed myself out here. It's nice to see that they're still giving back to the community and providing a spot for scare actors to come and work. And now the people that love haunted houses have a place to go through a haunted house in the Orlando area, very, very close to Universal. Like, Universal's right across the interstate right there. So, like I said, I had a fantastic time. This event actually opens on October 1st, which is in a couple of days now. So be sure to get your tickets on Eventbrite. We'll put links in the description down below so you guys know where to get tickets and how much they're going to cost and what days they're open. And with that being said, we are off, and we will see you guys tomorrow. And now it's time to help. So today's organization that we would like to shine a spotlight on is Trick or Treating for UNICEF. This is a Halloween-themed campaign where UNICEF encourages kids to trick-or-treat for donations instead of candy. The goal is to help kids who need more than candy. Because the pandemic continues to impact communities around the globe, they'll be implementing a virtual trick-or-treat for UNICEF this year. They want to add purpose to Halloween by collecting life-saving donations for kids in need around the world. So if you guys are interested in learning more about this campaign and what UNICEF does to help out those in need, please have a look at the link in the description down below, and thank you guys for watching this video.